Thank you all for being here today, and thank you for putting up with the delay. So I'll call this January 18th meeting to order. We didn't have the minutes. Again, we'll have the minutes that'll be ready for you at the next one, so we'll make sure we get that approved next time. And then what I also wanted to do is provide an opportunity for Jason Long from the Revisor's Office. He has just a statement he really wants to provide. Jason?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to correct a statement that I made at last week's meeting when there was a question regarding the Kansas Supreme Court's review of redistricting plans that are passed by the legislature. I misremembered the provision. It is limited, as Representative Hohe also pointed out, to just the Senate and House redistricting plans, just the state plans, not the congressional plans when they do the review.
Were there any other questions you may have for Jason? No? Okay. All right, so I just want to take a minute to just cover a few things as we're going through this. So what we're about to do is we're going to accept maps just like we accept bills in any other committee. It's the same process. You just introduce it. But really I'd like that they've had a technical review. That's actually one of the things we're going to talk about here in a second. And then as soon as you do that, you name the map, then research will provide a copy to each of us, just the cover of the statewide map, so we have that. They'll also put it on the screen. And then while we're sitting in here, Richard and research will also post it on the website. So that way you can get into the details of it. Right here, I mean, it'd be pages and pages. So that way you can go online, you can do that in that process. So with that, Jordan, can you just real quick show us maybe previous stuff so everybody here in the audience knows the kind of data that you have available for the maps that will be coming up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jordan Milholland, Legislative Research. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in just a second. All right, there we are. So I wanted to walk everyone through the types of reports that are generated for each of these maps when it goes through our technical review process. So starting off, part of our technical review process is technical in that it looks for unassigned geography or non-contiguous districts. So say there's a piece that happened to be assigned to a different district in the middle of another one, it'll generate an alert for that so we can get those issues corrected. After that, we go through a process where it runs a number of statistical reports on each of these maps. So I pulled up the 2012 approved district court plan that the court drew at that time. And this is available on the KLRD website in case you're interested in seeing this type of information. So as you can see here, we will have a statewide map generated. There will be a state of Kansas with a 2002 overlay. That was at that time. So this time we'll have the 2012 overlay so that you can see the district lines from then compared to the proposed map now. Then any county that is split by the map will have an inset image of that specific county that shows the two districts, for example, that split that county. If it's a state, house, or senate map, we'll show all the districts that split that county. Next, there are some population reports generated. So there's a population summary report that is pretty simple, but it basically summarizes the different districts and shows the amount of population in each district. It shows the range, different things like that. We also have place assignment by district, so you can see which cities are in which district. We have different population reports on those districts by place. We also have information on the racial breakdown of each district and the populations in those districts. And there's various reports generated for that. We also have some comparison reports, so it compares different aspects of those districts to each other. And also, this will show what percentage of each district from the previous decade is in the current proposed plan. Finally, we have some compactness measures that are reported on, and we have an error check report that just ensures that there's no other errors in the plan. And all of these different reports are generated and made a part of a packet for each of these plans. So once your map goes through TR, these reports will be generated and it'll all be in one place for anyone to look at as far as these plans go. And they will be uploaded to our KLRD website, so you'll be able to access those online for any of the proposed plans that have been accepted into the committee. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any about that process.
Jordan, before we go to any questions, can you just click on one or two of those to just show them the example of what's inside?
Sure, and I think that I am sharing the web browser, so let me see if I can share a different window here. Okay, so this, once it comes up on the screen here, there we go. It's just a little bit behind my computer. So this is an example of just the basic population report. So it goes through, it tells the total population of the state, it tells the ideal population for each district. Then this table at the top tells the deviation among the different districts and the percentage deviation. So this is a raw number. For example, District 1 in this plan was -2 from that ideal number. Going farther down, it tells the range in population and some other statistics related to that. I will pull up another report here just to show that as well. So this is one of the reports I was talking about earlier. It tells the different cities in each of the districts. So you can see, for example, Abbeville, Kansas, population 87 is part of District 1 in this plan. And you can look through this report by district and see in alphabetical order all of the towns that are in that district. This next report is about voting age population. So it's a similar thing, except it tells the number of persons over 18 or older in each of those towns by district. There's also the converse of that first report, where it tells the districts that are part of each town. So if there is a town that was split by a district, you could see the two districts and then the amount of population from that town that's in each of those districts. It would take me a second to find one that's split, but that's the basic idea of that. So that's another way to sort that information. A plan comparison report is what I'm going to be pulling up next. So, for example, in this plan, District 1 is composed of 86.2% of District 1 from 2002, and that's 614,721 people. And it also shows the amount of people and the percentage from District 2 from 2002. And you get a similar breakdown for each district, but it's an interesting way to look at how much of each district is composed of previous districts, or actually the ones that are currently in place. And finally, I'll pull up a compactness report here. So these are just different measures of compactness, and they're expressed as a number out of 1 for each of those districts. And if you want more information on that, there's different websites out there that explain the different measures of compactness. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any on this process.
Are there any questions? Okay, thank you, Jordan. As you can see, there's a lot of data in there, hence why we wanted to show you what's there so you can dig into it and really understand the details. Jordan, do you have that other piece of information?
Sorry, Mr. Chair, could you repeat the question? I was exiting out of the share. I apologize.
Did you get the information that you needed for the other map?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. All right, well, we'll continue on and hopefully we'll get it there. We'll work our way through it. So again, this is about map introductions. This is not, we're going to save the discussions for the hearings, which we'll do later on this week. So with that, I'm going to open the floor. Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this is offered as food for thought, but I think it goes to the idea of map drawing. One of my pet peeves is to look on a map, and the one that stands out in my mind, I think there's two or three, but I look at Johnson County, and there's a district that number-wise that doesn't fit. It's similar to those in the most extreme western part of the state. Could we think a little bit about a rule that says that addresses numbering so that, for instance, in Shawnee County, they currently run from 50 to 58, and that's easy to recall, particularly in the urban areas. If we had some kind of rule that said all the numbers should be sequential, and across the state they either flow from east to west or west to east, so that we don't have to, I don't know what the one is in Johnson County, but it's like 120 something, and all the others are in the teens and 20s. Anyway, just food for thought, and as we direct the reviser to draw maps, I think we could give them some simple guidance on having that in mind when they, numbers don't mean anything once we've adopted them. So anyway, food for thought.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I think that was discussed another time before about doing that, and so I'm glad to walk our way through that and think about it. Yes, sir.
I can say that that's happened just over the years as you've redistricted with pulling numbers from western Kansas. And the challenge you have is you might have people with signs with their numbers on, their signs, and, then you're going to say, change their number.
I thought maybe it had something to do with two Reichmans, one from Johnson and one from Western.
Well, like in Wichita, there's several districts that are in the hundreds that have, over the last 30 years, that have been pulled into Wichita.
Yeah, regardless of how it has evolved, I'm just saying that if we could address that for future reference, it would be, I think, easier for the mostly the public to comprehend when they see a district number about where it's at.
And that's why I was just saying, for the people who already have a number with signs and have campaigned with that, for them, that would be the issue.
Thank you, Representatives, and we will discuss that more, because I think that's an idea that's of importance that we need to talk about. We won't dismiss that. Okay, with that, are there any other comments or questions? What we'll go ahead and do is I will accept map introductions at this point. Representative Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was here in 2012, and even though the courts ended up writing our congressional map and actually all of our maps, the House did pass a map. And so what I did was have that map just for information purposes mostly. I had that map redone. It is the sunflower map, I believe is what we named it. When you see it, you'll see there's a little bit of deviation because in 2012, of course, population was different. So you'll see that in red, the changes from this one to what it was in 2012. But I just think it's good to look at what was passed in 2012, to have some look back on that. I voted for this map. I'm pretty positive in 2012, but I'm not sure I would vote for it today. It's not. I'm not really introducing it because I'm in love with it. It's more of a map to just give us an idea and a baseline of what was done in 2012.
Thank you. Jordan, can you at least just put it on the screen for just 1 second so the audience can actually see that as well? Just want to make sure you have a copy of it. And like I said, as soon as while we're in this meeting, all the information is being posted about it, and without objection, we'll accept that map. Okay. Okay, are there any other map introductions? We're working on one right now, so we'll get that done. Are there any other ones? Yes. Yes, please. Representative Hoheisel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just wondering about the current map. I believe we're calling it the sunflower map that's on the screen now. What's the total deviation on that, if I could get those numbers? Do you guys have those available?
So, yeah, I just want to, I mean, if you want to answer it right now, you can, but I was wanting to save a lot of the discussion for Thursday.
Okay.
If you want
I
to.
was just trying to stall while you,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you want to fill, if you got it handy, go ahead.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Yeah, for the good of the group, it's right on the bottom of the screen. Thank you. All right, so while we're waiting for the next one to arrive, I'll go ahead and introduce a map. It's the Ed Astra map, if you'll please distribute that. And it's based off of listening to a lot of the conversations throughout these last 4 months, 5 months, and what we heard online, as well as having various conversations. I'm introducing this map. Without objection, we'll accept this map. And then we're waiting on one more right now, correct? Okay, Representative Burrows.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the map that I'll call Buffalo 2 that I am sponsoring and submitting today.
You don't have this one. It's being printed right now, and it's being finalized through that process. Just had one little small issue and wanted to make sure we got it in today, but you can see it on the screen.
Chris, Mike.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm talking, it sounded to me pretty good, thank you. So anyways, the map is being printed right now. It's going through the final process right now. So what you can see is what's on the screen, and then each of you will be distributed a hard copy before we get out of here. And without objection, we'll accept this map. It's pretty good deviation. 0. Yeah. That's awesome. Just pausing a minute so you can have a chance to look at it on the screen. And just for reference, all these names are on an approved list. Okay. Everybody seems to have had a chance to look at that one. And then I do have one more to introduce. Could you pull up Blue Stream? And while he's passing this out, I was approached directly by the League of Women Voters to introduce this map. They gave a lot of testimony during our tours, if you remember, and I'm pretty sure they were actually at every one of our meetings. So this map, as well as the last one, are still undergoing the technical review. They were almost done. I mean, they're within minutes of being done, so I wanted to make sure we went ahead and move forward with this. So this is the next map, and you do all have the things, and without objection, we'll accept this map as well. My apologies, correction, it's blue stem. And for the audience members, we have a few extra copies. We'll hand these out. We'll leave them out there if you want to take a copy. Are there any other maps for introduction? So, and I know it seems a little bit different, but this is really the same, except that it started with research. The revisor's office is still looking at each one of these, converting these things into bills, so that way when we do hear them and vote and put action on them, they will be in bill form. All right, here comes the other maps that were presented earlier, and this is Buffalo 2 that is being handed out right now. Okay, with that, I think everybody's almost got all the maps. I think everybody in the committee has received a hard copy of all four. Is that correct? Okay. So it is my intention on Thursday at 12 o'clock in this room, I do intend to have a hearing on the following maps: Buffalo 2, Sunflower, Ad Astra, and Blue Stem. Now, I just have to make a point. That's assuming that both the Buffalo 2 and the Blue Stem clear their technical review. I wanted you to have it. They're so close to having it done, there's no sense in delaying in this process. So I just wanted to let you know that. So, and then again, depending on the amount of testimony on Thursday, we may pause at 1:15 and then adjourn back up at 5 p.m. So I just want you to be aware. And whatever we don't finish, we'll resume again on Friday. So expect to be here. It's the way this works. It is a short week. We could potentially take action on Friday, but we also might take it on Monday. It's all dependent upon what we see coming in and how we're going through with things, how fast we move. It is important to hear, and for me, it's really important, as I've said it before, and as you guys know, as we went through this process, it's important for us to hear what people have to say. So I want to hear what people have to say about these maps. With that, again, I thank you all for providing your maps today and all the patience you had in working through this. Just wanted to get the right things done for the state of Kansas. So with that, one team, one Kansas, and we are adjourned.